This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social. Delighted to be joined here today by Chris Billam-Smith. Actually, people keep saying that I'm always delighted to see people. To be fair, I am delighted to see you because it's the first time I've seen you in the new year. But I'm pleased to be joined by Chris Billam-Smith. We're here at McGuigan's gym. Happy New Year, Chris. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Happy New Year to you too. I'm very well.
How's your break?
Nice. Yeah, it was nice. Just chilled out. I had a good 3 weeks off. Did a couple of tick-over sessions, strength and a couple of runs and stuff. But yeah, come back feeling refreshed.
What's the plan for the new year? As I understand it, we're kind of waiting around for you to potentially get yourself a fight sorted out. What's your situation?
Yeah, there's obviously a few situations. There's obviously the one I was hoping for was the Commonwealth. Obviously, that's boxing the Eliminators. While you're boxing the Eliminators, so hopefully fight for that belt. But from what we've spoke about with the team, we're not sure if that's going to happen. Been made. There was purse bids sort of going out for ordered me against Dion Juma, who's we sort of become pals because we boxed in 2012 in the semi-finals of the ABAs. He beat me then, so yeah, I love that fight as well. Get some revenge, but now I like Dion. He's a nice lad, but we're well aware of the business we're in, and I believe that'd be a cracking fight between me and him. So there's that fight as well. And yeah, and then there's obviously the cruiserweight scene is, like I say all the time, it's a great division to be in at the moment, and everyone in the top 15 could all fight each other and stuff. So all capable of putting up a good fight against one another. So yeah, it's an exciting time. Plans this year: win some belts. I mean, that was the plan by the end of last year. Then the business side didn't fall into place, unfortunately, but yeah, I've still only had 8 fights, so there's plenty of time, no miles on the clock, and yeah, I'm ready to go again this year.
They mentioned the Commonwealth title, which is held at the minute by Wally Camacho, who reclaimed it when he beat Arthur Nickbal. Is that the fight that you're kind of looking at for your immediate future? You mentioned the Dion Juma fight, but as you say, you boxed an eliminator to fight for the full title. I think Wally Camacho was actually at the press conference I was at last week with Lawrence Okoli there, because they were kind of in negotiations. That fight hasn't happened for whatever reason. So is it the Wally Camacho fight that you're looking at in the immediate future?
That's the fight. I guess I'd like. He's got the Commonwealth title. He's a good fighter. But yeah, that's the fight I'd like. Commonwealth titles are very, well known and respected title. So, and for me at the moment, that's the best option, title wise and fight wise. But like I said, all the fights, the Dion Juma fight, that interests me. They all interest me. I just want to get my hands on a belt. That's what we're in it for, is to have good fights, but box the best lads, and obviously those two are up there with the best in Britain at the moment. So they're the fights we're looking at.
What did you get up to over Christmas? You are from my now adopted hometown of Bournemouth. We'll come on to that probably later. What did you get up to? You don't strike me as the type of person who'll be out every night partying. Nice bit of relaxation over the Christmas period? Yeah,
I don't think I went out at all, apart from Lock and Key, which is my mate's Sunday League football teams, their Christmas party, which you have to dress up every year. I went as a present this year. Last year I was a sexy elf. And the year before that I was a wise man. But yeah, so yeah, that's always an interesting night out. There's about 25 lads dressed in some form of Christmas fancy dress. That's about the only night out I got, but I think I was still in bed by about 1 o'clock. It was an all-day session for them lads, and I was just designated driver as per usual, but it was a good laugh. But yeah, that was about it. I then just chilled with my family, spent some quality time with family and my girlfriend Mia. My mum's currently in Australia, so she flew out there on New Year's Eve, so caught up, spent as much time with her. It's her birthday, what's the time? It might be today because she's in Australia.
1+1.
Oh, I think it might be, so happy birthday, mums. Yeah, so yeah, just spent some quality time with the family and chilled out. It was nice. 8 lots.
You look in decent shape though. You don't look like you've ate lots. Are you there or thereabouts with regards to weight? You don't have to take that much off anyway, do you? When you're trying to make weight?
Yeah. I feel a lot stronger and weight's better distributed now. I'd say weight's stayed the same. Not miles above, not overweight. I never really don't want to come into camp. You don't want to turn up to this camp well overweight because shame makes you pay when you're not overweight. I've done looked after myself a little bit over Christmas. Done a few sessions. Don't overeat. Just enjoy a few pizzas.
So do I, but I don't have to train, so I do overeat. We're just kind of being serenaded by the sound of Luke Campbell smashing the pads behind us. What's it like coming back to such a live gym after having a bit of a break? We kind of have this running joke between us that you are surrounded by all of these world-class fighters, of which at the minute you're not quite at that level. When you're coming back after a break, does it kind of give you that jump start in the new year, seeing people like Luke Campbell, see George back in the gym today, Taylor not back yet, but what's it like coming back into the gym and seeing those guys fresh in the new year?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, just before Christmas, because I boxed on December the 15th and we were out in Miami training, so it's just me, Shane and Luke out there. So it's quite quiet compared to what I'm used to. I've been in the gym, since I've been here, we've had 5 or 6 fighters in the gym, a minimum of 3 or 4 in the gym at all times. So then we came back in, it was me and Campbell, then now Lee's joined us and Jack Hillier's back as well. It's as always, it's great. We're all learning, we'll get on together, we're all pushing each other. I feel like I got a bit of after the break, it's probably the longest proper break I've had off. I only did a couple of tick-over sessions in 3 weeks, whereas for my first 8 fights, the most I had off was probably 10 days. And I wouldn't have gone 10 days without training at all. I would have done something. So to have that proper break, I come back in, feel refreshed and revitalised. The training so far has been great. I feel fit, feel strong, just looking to get back into sparring hopefully next week. It's great having people like Luke and all the others around me.
Been playing some chess. Obviously, I've been speaking to you and Shane about chess. Tell me a little bit about that and how that got started. Probably not surprising, is probably not the right word, but yeah, interested to see that you've been playing some chess over the break.
Well, everyone says, don't they, boxing's like chess, you know, that you got to think moves ahead, etc. But started in Miami, we started playing out there, them two were giving it the big one, I beat them both. Played Shane yesterday, beat him, played Luke yesterday, beat him.
I don't imagine Luke Campbell, and forgive me Luke if you watch this, he's not going to watch this, I don't imagine Luke being the best chess player.
I mean, to be fair, at first he was alright, but it was like he'd played recently. I hadn't played since I was about 11 or 12. I played with my dad when I was a kid, and that was about it. But I'm quite a thinker, and he's I don't know, he's weird. He was weirdly good at first, but yesterday we haven't played each other in a while. He takes his time, and sometimes it's like he wants a game of chess. I'm like, mate, I've only got 2.5 hours. So I haven't got long enough to play you. So yeah, but he's not bad. I mean, I think we're all, to be fair, we're all pretty even. But I seem to have I've been most consistent, I'd say.
Josh Taylor played chess. He's somebody I really can't imagine playing chess.
I don't know. I haven't seen him since we started playing, but I can't imagine him wanting to play chess because he'd just pick up pieces and throw them or something. But I don't know. I think it's too slow pace for him.
We've obviously mentioned Josh Taylor there and kind of people coming back to the gym. Josh isn't back in the gym now. Always one of the reasons I like coming to this gym is because you're all obviously a close-knit team and a close-knit family, but you're all very different. Taylor's not here at the minute. What do you lose as a group when Taylor's not around?
It's a lot calmer. Nah, Taylor's become a good friend of mine. I've been up after fights. I've stayed up in Edinburgh with him and Danielle and Mia, and we've had good nights out and I believe Danielle's moving down actually. So hopefully they can pop down to Bournemouth and we can come up a little bit more, spend some more time together. But yeah, he's Taylor. Like, it's not really any words to describe him, but nah, he's obviously an unbelievable fighter, and every time he spars, to be fair, I'm the same with everyone in the gym. I try and watch him, but Taylor's always good to watch him sparring. his work rate and his tenacity is sort of same as his personality, really. But he's a great laugh. He's a great laugh to have around. And yeah, he's a mad Scotsman.
Yes, he is. You mentioned you watch everybody spar. You also do spar with George Groves. You have been used as a sparring partner for George since before you even joined the stable. I'm assuming George would be the answer. Let's disregard George. But from the other guys in the gym, who would you say you've learnt the most from?
It's hard because we're different weights. So, you know, a lot different compared to the rest of the gym. You know, Taylor's the closest weight to me below George, and he's a super lightweight. So 4.5 stone difference between us. So but yeah, you know, I pick up things from all of them. You look at Lee's head movement and his defence is great. I'd say Campbell's style, you know, I've watched Luke for years. I remember watching him in the Olympics when he won gold, and I always liked his style, and a very tidy boxer, and that's how, you know, I used to sort of be as an amateur, be a tidy boxer. Obviously it's changed a lot under Shane, but yeah, so I used to watch him, and in the gym he punches long and stuff, and that's good for me to learn from, because I've been watching Taylor and Lee, and they punch short quite a lot, or they're very good on the inside, but Campbell's really good at range, so it's good for me to learn from that side of things as well. So I mean, it's equal probably how much I learn from all of them, but since Luke's joined I've picked up more things from him as well, because of his, like, the way his base is, and the length of his shots and stuff, and as you can hear, he still manages to get the power in them as well. But yeah, it's great to learn from all of them.
Now, we had Luke Campbell in the office for episode 2 of the Boxing Social podcast. Another plug there, I did it for Shane as well. I'll continue to do it, so people please go and watch the podcast. Luke had some very interesting things to say about a number of things. One of them was conspiracy theories. Shane tells me that it's kind of something that could go around the gym sometimes. There's some interesting theories and ideas, as it were. Can you shed any light on that for me?
Yeah, I mean, Taylor has and is part of the theory of the Flat Earth Society or whatever they want to call themselves. But he was also sat next to a pilot at Jake McGuigan's wedding, and the bloke said, "It's not flat, mate. I've seen it." And he goes, "He's just ruined me," but now he's gone back to thinking it's flat again. So yeah, George is a bit of George likes all that sort of stuff, conspiracy theories and stuff. So he's brought a few into the gym, random ones, about all sorts, to be honest. He's quite clued up on that sort of thing. Yeah, but what was Campbell's one? The JFK? JFK. Yeah, I haven't looked into that. Do you have any of your own? I did. It's badgers. They're not real. When you ever seen a live badger? I had this theory anyway. It was basically, I'd never seen a live badger, and I was like, they're not real. They just use them it's some big government scheme. They just put them on the roads with roadkill to slow us down or whatever. And then me and my girlfriend argued about it quite a lot. She hated it, and then got out of the car one day outside the house, and one ran down our driveway. I'm still sure it was a skunk or something, but she
could have been planted there by the government.
Yeah, I said it was a motorised one. Exactly what I said. Motorised one, and they're not real. I've never seen a live badger, so that's my conspiracy. Yeah,
I've never heard that one. That's different. You mentioned George Groves, your old pal George Groves, who I've mentioned. You kind of sparred with him for a long period of time. How good is it to have him back in the gym? He's probably heavier than you, but I'd imagine at the minute, George definitely won't watch this, so I can get away with saying that. What's it like having George Groves back in the gym?
Yeah, he's in the gym this morning. I popped and seen him last week at his as well. And yeah, it's good. Always good to have around. He's a character, so he's a good laugh to have around. Always, if he's ever in while I'm punching or sparring or whatever, he's always there for advice as well. But yeah, I think he seems to be back into training of some sort. So I don't know what the next move is for him. He hasn't discussed it with with me anyway. I don't know if he spoke to Shane about it or what. I'm sure they've spoke about it, but so I don't know what the move is for George. But I'm sure even if he decided to retire, that he'd still come in the gym and be part of the team, because he enjoys it here, and it's obviously very beneficial for likes myself and everyone else in the gym, someone who's been there and done it. Obviously we've got Barry as well, who's been there and done it. Shane's obviously got the experience of training world champions, and so you can't have too much experience around you in the gym. So yeah, it's great to have that.
I spoke to Shane earlier and he said that we're kind of waiting for an announcement with regards to George moving forward. You told me one of the other times I'd interviewed you that you wouldn't mind to see him retire. You think he's kind of achieved everything that he would kind of want to achieve potentially in the sport, and you wouldn't mind seeing him walk away from the sport, potentially walk away from the sport. You still agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. But that's me saying that. It's not because of anything. It's just I've watched him, for years. I think I went and watched the De Gale fight, and that was 2011, I think. 2010, 2011. I remember being at that fight and following it, and been to plenty of fights since. Unfortunately, not the last one in Jeddah, but I was at home watching that one. But yeah, I think the only fights out there for him are going to be the winner of Groves De Gale, De Gale Eubank, and or the Callum Smith rematch. But is Callum Smith going to want that rematch? Does he need? He's beaten both De Gale and Eubank. So for me, it's a bit. What are you doing it for? If the drive's there, then do it. But it's got to be there, because it's not hard to get up for the fight. It's hard to get up for a training camp, I imagine, at that stage when you've grafted for. It's been his job for over 10 years. He's been a professional fighter, so for that long, just to be constantly grafting training camp after training camp, achieved everything you want to achieve, probably done well. Obviously he's had some big fights out through the Froch fights and the Super Series and stuff. So is there anything more to achieve? Realistically, the only thing more that you can achieve is the Callum Smith fight as a rematch. So for me, that's the only fight I imagine George being up for with regards to achievement-wise, but because he's beaten the other two, and other than that, you could re-win a recapture a world title against somebody else in the division, but they're not well known, and that's okay when you're lower down, when you haven't already won a world title and you haven't done all the other stuff. So what he's achieved, I think, yeah, I'd stick with my decision.
Just finally, you mentioned De Gale versus Eubank. Who do you see coming out on top in that fight?
I've been umming and ahhing about that. I think it's De Gale wins the early rounds, first 4 rounds. I don't believe Eubank will have changed a lot. It doesn't seem to adapt. He's improved slightly, but not enough to properly change his game plan, his style. He sort of seems a bit set in his ways. So I feel De Gale's going to win it. If Eubank can up the pace and De Gale falls asleep, mid to late rounds like he has done before, like the Durrell fight where he was getting beat quite, in those rounds. Seemed to sort of switch off quite a lot. So if he switches off, obviously I believe Eubank's got the power to trouble him and could stop him in 8, 9, 10. But I believe if it gets to 10, 11 rounds, then De Gale will win on points. So a bit sat on the fence. But originally I did say I think De Gale will outbox him.
Shane sat on the fence as well, so you're in good company. Okay, well, it's been nice to catch up with you. Look forward to seeing what 2019 brings for you. Glad to see you looking so athletic and rugged. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Chris Billam-Smith, I will see you soon.
Cheers, Rob. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.